Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am sharing part 2 of this Colonial estate that I have built kind of recently. I actually built this I think about 3 weeks ago, and I wanted to share it before I went away to Sims Camp or while I was at Sims Camp, but neither one of those happened, so I'm sharing it now, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this build. This is the second part, so this is going to be all of the furnishings of the build. The entire exterior and the floor plan and everything was in part 1, so if you guys did miss it, I will have it linked in the description and in the end card so you guys can find it really easily. And yeah, I just absolutely love this house. I had so much fun building it and doing the landscaping and all of that kind of stuff, but I really enjoyed the interior on this build. And sometimes when it comes to fancier interiors, I really struggle, and I don't always really like them that much. I mean, I usually end up liking them, but it takes me a while to get there. And this one, it just felt so easy. And I think that's because I actually looked at inspiration while I was building, because I'm always looking at Pinterest and I'll look at a lot of interiors, but usually while I'm currently decorating something, it's not very often that I'm currently looking at inspiration. And so this time I decided to search up Colonial interiors on Pinterest, and I came across all of these pictures that had a lot of like white and black and gold, and then tons of plants, and I was completely obsessed. I thought it was so like beautiful, and so that's something I wanted to bring to this build. So you will notice that there is a lot of plants in here, and I'm like completely obsessed, but I think it looks really pretty, and I don't think it's overdone. At this point, I don't really have any plants, and I don't think I was looking at inspiration yet at this point, but you'll see them come in just a little while. I think once I start decorating the kitchen, and I love it. It's one of my favorite interiors for fancier homes, at least, because I do tend to prefer the cozier, messier family homes, and this one is definitely not it. I mean, maybe the kids' rooms are a little bit on that cozier, messier side, because I did clutter up the children's rooms quite a bit. Well, children and teens room. So yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see that. But this house is humongous. It took me so long to build and furnish. That's why it is separated into 2 parts, and they're about 2 30-minute parts. I think the first part is a little bit shorter. I think it's like 27 minutes, but yeah, that just shows you how long this build took me. It's one of, I think, the longest I've ever spent on a build. I mean, it's not the longest. I think the longest was probably it was a farmhouse that I did in Windenburg a long time ago. I think I spent like 15 hours on that build or something. It was pretty ridiculous. But yeah, this build took me a really long time, and it has a lot of different rooms. So as you can see, I'm working on the kitchen right now. So there's a kitchen, there's a dining room, there's that more informal living room that I have already decorated, and that's the one that I imagine the family uses more often because there's a TV in there. And the other living room area doesn't have a TV, but I was thinking that that was more of a party/library room, and I absolutely love that room. It's probably my favorite part to the build next to the sunroom, because I absolutely adore the sunroom. I put like a table in there with some chairs and a piano, and it just feels so nice. And the lighting, of course, at certain times of the day is really pretty in there. And then other than that, there is a few like hallways. There's 2 bathrooms on this level, an office area, and I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but I might be. And then there is also a basement with a butler suite, an ensuite bathroom to that bedroom, and then there is a laundry room area as well as a tiny little wine cellar that doesn't serve much of a purpose. I would love to see maybe some sort of like crafting. I think I just saw a mod for that recently where you can, I think it was where you could craft your own nectar, which would be like the wine in the game, and that sounds so cool. I would love to see more like crafting elements or something come from the game, but that's definitely a mod I'm interested in trying out just for myself. I'm not sure if I'll ever make a video on it, but I'm curious to see how it works. And then other than that, there is the second floor where all of the bedrooms are, except for the butler's one, of course, and there's a parents' bedroom with their own ensuite. There is a child's room, a teenager's room. They have a bathroom that they share. And then the landing area to the staircase is really open with like this open balcony. There's another sort of living space there, which I think is really pretty. And then there's another potential bedroom if you decided you needed like more bedrooms in this house, if you had like a bigger family. And I decided to turn that into like a fashion studio, or like a fashion studio, I think is what I'm going to call it. And I think that room is really cool, and I haven't done too many things like that in, I think, family homes. And so yeah, I'm pretty excited for you guys to see that. And I did talk about the storyline of the family a little bit in last part, but the idea that I had for the household living here is a very wealthy family. Obviously, they live in this giant estate here on this 50 by 50 lot in Willow Creek. This is on the left side of the map. I think it's the second, or it's one of the only two 50 by 50 lots in this world. My goodness, I can't talk. The other 50 by 50 is the park. And so yeah, it's the biggest lot here, or residential lot in this world. So I definitely wanted this family to be very wealthy. I was thinking that the dad of the household is a politician, and he is extremely busy with his political career. He is always campaigning. He's at the office. He is probably going through interviews and, you know, having dinner parties and socializing and networking. Like, he is extremely busy and probably a little bit self-absorbed. Like, he's definitely a workaholic, and I think his children kind of do get forgotten, which is definitely really sad, but I mean, it happens, and this is kind of a story I wanted to tell at some point in my save file, and so I'm kind of excited about it because he does have a wife who's not the mother of his children. I think his wife probably passed away. I haven't exactly worked that out, but, you know, she's not in the picture anymore. I don't exactly know why, but I think I'm going to go with that she's died. I think that's what I'm going to go with. But he has a young bride who is, much younger than him, and she is completely self-absorbed. I was kind of thinking of Parent Trap, if you guys do remember Meredith Blake from the Lindsay Lohan version. I absolutely love that character. I mean, in the movie, I hated her, and I think everybody hates her as you're watching it, but you also kind of love that character because it's so, you love to hate her. Does that make sense? I think it does. But yeah, I wanted the stepmom to be kind of like that. Like, she doesn't necessarily love the husband for who he is, but she loves his status and his money and his house, and she loves the idea of just being a politician's wife. And so she's very self-absorbed, doesn't spend a whole lot of time with the children. I mean, maybe she does care about them to some extent, but she doesn't make sure they're ready in the morning. She doesn't make sure they've done their homework or spend time with them. It's so sad. I hate saying stuff like this, but it's the household that I imagine. So that's what we're going to go with. And yeah, the kids get kind of forgotten about, but they have a butler, and I imagine they have a maid and a nanny and all of that kind of stuff. And so they spend a lot of time with the children, making sure that they are taken care of, they've done their homework, ready for school, all of that kind of stuff. And so they're very close with them. And the children, for the child sim, I was thinking that it was a little girl, and she is completely obsessed with animals, and she's just a good-hearted person and wants to be a veterinarian someday. And as I was building this, I was definitely thinking of university. This was before I played it, and I was thinking that she did want to go to university and study something along the lines that would help her become a veterinarian, or maybe I don't know exactly, but yeah, so she's completely obsessed with animals. She's probably a vegetarian. I think she's also a good sim, are the traits that I think I figured out for her. And then she has an older brother. Like I said in last part, I haven't decided if it's going to be an older brother. Could be a girl. I don't know. I think I'll figure it out once I actually create the household, because at this point they're just an idea. I haven't actually made the Sims. But he is completely obsessed with robotics and science, and he wants to go to Foxbury Institute, and he's completely obsessed with all that kind of stuff. And you will see that reflected in both of their bedrooms, their personalities, and I had a lot of fun decorating that. So I think that's basically all I had for the story of the household. I really like their story because I think it's different to other households that I have in game. And for my save file, I don't really want to repeat too many things. I do want the households to be different and have their own, unique stories and different personalities and that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But here you can see I'm working on the more library party room. I am, completely in love with this room. I loved using the Get Famous furniture in this build. I actually built this around the same time that I did the Von Hahn estate. If you guys did miss it, I definitely recommend that you guys check it out, because that's another build that I was really intimidated by doing. I mean, this one too, I feel like anytime I have to do really grand builds, I kind of just put them off because I'm honestly just kind of scared of them or intimidated by them. But yeah, I really liked that one, so I definitely recommend that you guys check it out. So there'll be some similarities in this build, like the fountains in the backyard area, and then also some of like the Get Famous furniture, because I hadn't really used that furniture too much until this point. And I feel like it's just because it's a very specific style, and it's very gaudy and flashy. And I think for me, since I tend to build a lot of like cozier family homes, I find it a bit difficult to use. But for this build, it totally works, and I absolutely love like the rich browns and the golds. I thought it was a lot of fun. But anyway, so here you can see I just decorated a tiny little bathroom. It's close to the front door. There's another bathroom down here that has a shower, so there should be plenty of room to take care of your Sims needs. And then around here is just like a hallway, and I was really unsure what I should do here, so I think I just placed a love seat. These bookcases that we got from the Realm of Magic pack, I love these bookcases so much. They look really good, and I love how they're like a single tile and they like snap together. They look really pretty. And then here I'm using a vase and using a debug plant that we got from, maybe it's not debug, it might just be one of the regular plants, but it came from the Island Living pack. And so that's one of the things that I saw in the pictures that I was looking at on Pinterest that I wanted to bring into this build was those like plants. And we have some of those Monstera plants in the debug menu from Island Living. And so I just use vases and put them like everywhere. We also have a few other sort of big leafed plant that are similar to that I'm not sure exactly what they're called necessarily. Like this one right here, and it looks so good. I think I saw Freezer Bunny do that at one point, if I remember correctly. I think I may have seen some other people do it too, but I've never tried it out for myself. And after looking at those pictures, I was like, this is exactly like the same sort of, it's the same sort of idea or the same sort of decoration that I saw in the pictures, but in game, and I'm so happy about it. But over here is going to be the office. So since the dad is a politician, I do imagine he uses this room quite often when he has to do work from home. I did try to make it look more like a formal office, so I do a couple of chairs sitting in front of it. I'm not sure how often he has clients like come in, or, you know, any business partners or anything come to his house. I mean, I'm sure it happens, but it's not like a huge office, so I don't think he'd be holding a lot of meetings in here, but you know, it still serves its purpose, and I think it looks really nice. Yeah, it's a very simple room, but I think it looks really pretty anyways. And I was really happy to be able to use that sundial. You may have saw me like move it around several different times in this build. I kind of struggled with where I wanted to place it, but I think it works in here, and I definitely need to use that object more often because it's one of those things that I never use and I kind of forget about. I don't know, do you guys have any objects like that? I feel like some of the statues I tend to forget about a lot. So anyways, here I'm moving down into the basement. Like I said, there's the butler's room down here. They have their own ensuite. There is a little sort of wine cellar that I think is pretty cute, but like I said, it's not very functional, but it looks nice. And then there's the washer and dryer. I think I also got the woodworking table and some storage, laundry hampers. I wanted the laundry to be all in one area because I do imagine that the butler and maid do all of the laundry in this build, so I didn't feel like putting any hampers in the rooms of the actual household members. I mean, the butler's a household member, but you guys know what I mean. And so I felt like that made sense, and I added a few pieces of clutter. I tried to keep it mostly simple and basement looking. I've only ever lived in a house that had a basement before once, so I'm not too familiar with them, but I felt like the brick and the concrete floor looked really nice. But over here you can see I'm adding the little wine cellar. We got this wine cellar rack from Dine Out, and it looks really good. I really wish that your Sims could actually use it. I feel like it's always so frustrating when we have an item that clearly looks like storage and nothing is stored in it. It'd be so nice if they were able to pull like glasses of nectar from it. But either way, I still think it looks nice. And then over here you can see I'm starting to decorate the butler's room. I definitely kept it more simple and plain. I didn't want to overly clutter it up or add too many decorations because I don't know the butler's personality exactly. And so I think I'll add maybe more items that are catered to the Sims personality once I actually have the family hire a butler and I see their traits and those types of things. I mean, it'll more just be like a few clutter pieces that kind of suit their personality because I felt kind of bad leaving it so plain and like black and white and gray. Like it just felt kind of boring in my opinion. So you guys may notice that when you download my save file that it's a little bit different, but you know, I don't think it'll be anything too crazy, but I really do like their bathroom. I loved using the black toilet. I don't think I use black toilets very often in builds, but this time it totally worked. And yeah, in here I think I do get a bookcase. They have their own TV. I wanted there to be a few activities so when they're not working and, you know, it's time for them to go to bed, they have something to entertain themselves. And I also put a closet down here too, so I thought that was nice. So maybe if somebody wants to woohoo the butler, they have a closet to do it in. I mean, of course they could just do it in the bed, but the closet woohoo to me is always hilarious. So yeah, I wanted to include that down here. And I do add a little bit of clutter with this radio and a plant and some book decorations. But like I said, I do keep it mostly simple and pretty plain. I don't know. I mean, it does have some personality. I was going to add these bird pictures, but I wasn't really liking the way they looked. And then I was thinking that maybe the butler would not really be an outdoorsy person. And so maybe it wouldn't make sense. So if I do end up getting a butler that's an outdoor lover, then maybe I will add something like that or some fish plaques or something. But yeah, I just add some artwork and a few decorations on the bedside tables. And I decided to not put bedside lamps. I put wall-mounted lights. And so I thought that was a bit different than how I normally decorate, but I've definitely seen a lot of interiors like that. So yeah, I felt like that was pretty realistic. And then up here is the landing area. And in the landing area, I really was not sure what to do. I thought about adding like the Don't Wake the Llama table or maybe the foosball table, but it felt too informal for the look that I was going for. And plus I already have the Don't Wake the Llama table in the library. So I just did another seating area. If you really wanted to rework the floor plan, you could definitely fit like another bedroom right here, but I really liked using these couches. I felt like it was so pretty. And it's another place for your Sims to sit and talk and drink tea or lemonade or whatever it is they prefer. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun decorating it. So it's kind of a useless space, but I think it looks really pretty and that makes me happy whether or not it's too functional or not. But for the rest of the landing area though, I just added some artwork and I felt a little bit limited in fancy paintings, which seems kind of strange because I feel like most of the artwork that we have from base game is like fancier artwork. So I did repeat myself a few different times, but I think I made it work either way. And the chandelier that I'm using above the open area to the downstairs entryway is from Realm of Magic, and I thought that chandelier was really pretty and unique. It felt like kind of a statement piece, if that makes any sense. So I was pretty happy about that. And then over here is going to be the master bedroom. So it's not as big as I would have liked it to be for this like size of house, but it's still really fancy. I used one of the more expensive beds that we have in game. I put a fireplace in here and they also have their own ensuite bathroom. I did want to do a walk-in closet with like a fancy wardrobe, but since I decided to do the the fashion designer room, I decided that kind of made up for the lack of closet space because that's kind of like her own personal closet that's an entire room rather than just a closet. So hopefully that makes sense. And yeah, I really enjoyed putting the fireplace in here. I wanted to put that same marble floor that I did underneath the ones in the downstairs, but for some reason it was messing with the freezes. Is that what it's called? I think it is. So it was messing with that a little bit. So I just used this little carpet slab and I thought that looked really nice. And then I used this wardrobe that we got from the Vampires pack with the gold and the white. So I thought that was super pretty. And I used a lot of these paintings, or not a lot of these paintings, but these two paintings that we got from Get Together with the people who live in the Von Haunt estate, which are currently ghosts in the Von Haunt estate. I used that painting a lot, or those paintings a lot. And I really wish we had more like fancier portraits because we do have the ones from vampires, but most of them obviously look like vampires. And so I find them harder to use in like regular builds that aren't for vampires. So, but yeah, I think I made it work anyways. And then here is their ensuite bathroom. It's very similar to the other bathrooms in the build. It's just a different shape. And I did something kind of interesting with the counter space. I decided to use a single counter in between the two sinks. And that was basically because of the placement of the window, and I wanted there to be like double vanities. I felt like the double sinks were very fancy and it suited this type of build. But I don't know if I'm 100% like sold on the way it looks. So if I do change it later on, that's because I decided I didn't really like the counter in between. I think the only thing that bothers me about it is that it has a black top instead of a white top, like the sinks. I don't know if that really matters, but something looked a little bit off to me. But the reason I wanted to include it was because I wanted the bathroom clutter in there. I do feel like the wife of the politician does have a lot of makeup and needs tons of space for it. I mean, she has this whole room with tons of makeup in here too. So this is going to be the fashion designer room. I have some floor to ceiling mirrors so she can see her outfits. I also use that little pedestal that the Sims can like stand on that we got from Get Famous, and they can try on the different outfits. I'm not sure exactly how this works and all the things that you can do with it, but I have played with it a little bit, so it's definitely something I wanted to include. And then I also placed a couple of mannequins that we got from Get Together in here, or not Get Together, Get to Work. There's so many like Get to packs. It's like easy to mix them up, but I did dress them in live mode, so you'll see that in the screenshots that they have some pretty fancy outfits on. And then I also use a chair that we got from Get Famous, and I place it in the corner. And then I do clutter up the vanity with some debug objects, some like debug clutter and certain things just to make it look very decorated and messy, and I think that looks really good. Speaking of debug though, I did mention, I think in my last apartment build, that I went through and created all of the clutter rooms that I've been talking about pretty recently, and I recorded an entire debug tutorial and I talked about the items that I use, and I talked about tons of things. Like I talked about certain objects that don't transfer through the gallery and certain things that spoil, and why I chose the different objects in the rooms. Like I talked a lot, and I think I touched on everything that I wanted to, and I literally talked for 20 minutes straight, and my microphone was not connected to my recorder. I mean, it was connected, but for some reason my monitor speaker was connected, and I have no idea where that audio would be, or even if there's a microphone in my monitor. So that was really frustrating for me because yeah, I said basically everything I wanted to say. So I'll have to redo that video probably sometime this week. It'll probably be after the university stuff is released because I have a lot of work still to do on all of my footage. I recorded a lot of footage, and yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work going through, and I'm not sure how many videos I can make from it that would make sense because I have a lot of like random stuff. But anyways, so here I'm starting to work on one of the children of the household's rooms. This is going to be for the teenager. Like I said in last part, I was wanting to think of like a preteen a little bit. I don't know. It's a life stage that I personally want. I don't think it's that popular of an opinion. Like I said in last part, I feel like a lot of people want the team to focus on other life stages that we already have, you know, like children and elders and babies and those types of things, which I completely agree. But I don't know, I feel like preteens would be super cool. But either way, like I said, this sim is completely obsessed with science, robotics. They want to maybe be an astronaut or something. I'm not exactly sure, but I tried to reflect that idea in their bedroom by using tons of clutter items and posters and things that we have that are related to more sciencey, robot looking things, and I think it actually turned out really good. Like this is my favorite way to decorate, and it was kind of a nice change of pace after doing the rest of the build. It was very clean and tidy and fancy and flashy. I mean, I definitely really enjoyed this interior. Like I said, it's one of my favorite interiors I think I've ever done, but it was really nice coming to the children's rooms, or the children and teens room, to give them more personality and like more, yeah, just more decorations. And I decided to go with a fancier bed in this room because I did think that this is one that the parents probably picked out and they just always kept it. I thought about doing that for the children's room too, but I gave them like a more cutesy fun bed. But that was the reason I chose this bed color. Plus the blue worked really nicely with the wallpaper and the curtains. They all matched really well. So I was really happy about that. And yeah, other than that, they do have their own TV in here with their own video game console so they can sit and play video games. I also have a desk in there. I didn't give them a computer, but I was thinking that the teen and the child probably have a laptop in their inventory. That way they could, you know, set the laptop down when they wanted to be on the computer and then put it back in their inventory when they wanted to probably do their homework or write in a journal or something at their desk. So that's why I did it that way, and I'm really happy that we got laptops because it just makes it so much easier to make like desks more useful for doing other things. So anyways, here I'm moving on into the child's room. So like I mentioned, this child is totally and completely obsessed with animals, and everything animals. So the curtains even have like dinosaurs on them. So I'm thinking that it doesn't matter if the animal is prehistoric, if the animal's extinct, it doesn't matter. This kit is all about everything animals. So I tried to pick out as many decorations that I could find that were animal related. So like this bed came from Cats and Dogs. It has like the little fire hydrants. I thought that was so cute. And I loved using so much orange in here. I don't think I've ever really done an orange bedroom for a child. Maybe I have once or twice, but not very often. So I felt like it was a nice change of pace. And they have a desk as well. Like I mentioned, I was thinking they have a laptop in their inventory because these are wealthy children. You know, they probably get every single like new appliance, every single Sims iPad type thing. They get everything. So I definitely wanted them to have that, but I didn't want to take up the space on the desk. I wanted to leave it open. And they also have this arts and crafts table, and I chose this one because it has the dog and the animal prints. So I thought that was super cute. And then other than that, I do place a few more toys around, a few more posters and items, but this is basically it though for the entire build. I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. This was one of my most favorite builds I think I've ever done. I spent a lot of time on it. Like I said, if you did miss the first part, I will have it linked in the description and in the end card so you guys can find it really easily. But thank you guys so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions that you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
Dancing with the shadows on the bedroom wall, silhouettes of memories that I can't recall, trying to be ready for the call, trying